Lady wants my rollator. For those that don't know, a rollator is basically a walker on wheels. I had a stroke 6 years ago, and my balance and vision got messed up. I can walk maybe 20 to 25 feet on a flat surface without help, but I need my rollator to take long walks and take it with me whenever I go somewhere. I normally have weekly groceries delivered to me at my apartment, but every month or 6 weeks, depending on schedules, my mom will take me to a specialty grocery store where I can get a lot of pre-packaged meals that I just have to put in the microwave for a while. We were on one of these trips, and we're waiting in line checking out. The rollator that insurance covers was a piece of cheap white plastic. So last Christmas, my mom bought me one that is black steel and titanium composition. It also has a pouch on the back for storing things, and when I need a break, I can lock the wheels, and it has a fold-out bench I can sit on. So, while my groceries were being checked out, I folded out the bench and sat down waiting. When we were done, I got up and unlocked the wheels while my mom rolled out my cart of groceries. I had barely got 5 feet when a lady walked up and grabbed my rollator, saying, "I'll take this." I said, "No," and jerked it away from her and proceeded to follow my mom out to the parking lot. Usually, my mom will load the groceries in the car while I leave the rollator on the side and walk my way to the passenger's seat. After loading the groceries, my mom collapses the rollator and puts it on top of the groceries. This lady followed us out to the car and was waiting there, tapping her foot while we loaded the groceries. I didn't trust her, so I just stood holding the rollator. My mom said, "Go ahead, get in. It's unlocked," and I just shook my head no and tried to subtly point at the lady as to why I wasn't getting in. Mom understood and finished loading the groceries. When she was done, she came up to me, folded down the rollator while I walked to the passenger side door. Mom folded down the rollator, put it on top of the bags in the car, and was closing the door when the lady started shrieking about how we were stealing store property. I don't know if someone got him or what, but a manager type came out and asked what was going on. The lady screamed about how we were stealing the rollator and she needed to use it. The manager asked my mom about it, and she said it was mine and even showed him the plaques bolted on that had my name, emergency contacts, and medications and the schedule I was on in case I needed them. The lady kept screaming that she needed it now that we were done. The manager told her that it was mine. It had information on it that pertained only to me, and that if she needed help, they could find her a mobility scooter or something. She didn't like this, and suddenly went from shrieking harpy to sweet old lady, saying, "Well, maybe she could leave it here and I could use it and leave it when I am done for them to come back and get." The manager asked, "Would that be okay with you?" And my mom, knowing we would never see it again, said that we couldn't. We had other places to go where I would need it. The lady began screaming again, while we just drove off. I don't know how it ended up for the manager, but I hope he survived it. Now to the next story, story 2. I thought they were house sitters. They think they're roommates. So we just got back from a week-long vacation. One of the guys my husband knows from board game nights needed a place to crash with his wife for a convention and some job search logistics in our city, and we cats. So having them house sit seemed like a win-win. Gonna call the wife Bonnie and the husband Clyde. They also needed a bit of time after our trip, which was also fine. One of our cats is kind of difficult, and 1 week of dedicated care was about equal to 2 weeks of crash space. They asked us if they could maybe stay a bit longer based on how the job search went. We thought that meant a few days. I know we're all trying to do less guest culture, but if you're sleeping in someone's living room, how would that not mean a few days? They asked for 3 months. Feeling a bit put on the spot, we agreed to 1 month, but even then they're trying to tack a few more days on, until Bonnie's birthday. Now that I write this, I kinda wonder if some of the math is they won't kick us out on my birthday. My house isn't set up for roommates. It's barely set up for long visits. It is both my husband and I on edge. My husband is now in full eating crackers mode, where every little thing they do is setting him on edge. And of course they do a lot of little things, like leaving half-eaten food or half-drunk sodas out, or spreading out their stuff in a common area, which probably seems reasonable because we don't really have a private area for them. I'm really not sure why they'd want to be here for 3 months. They'll be in a bad place if we kick them out. Their old place, the one they want to move from, is about 3 hours away, and due to a paperwork snafu, Clyde can't legally drive right now. Bonnie has a job now, but during training it won't pay enough for them to get an apartment. It's not a good situation, and I don't want to put them in a worse spot, but they can't stay here forever. Honestly, having them here past this weekend, like we'd originally agreed, is a really big imposition. I have big logistically complicated events running each weekend after that until mid-September, and I need the space to prepare. Is there a way to get them out of our house without torching friendships? Update. We know lawyers that specialize in evictions. Yeah, it's a nasty business, but the dark secret of lawyers is that the more the firm looks like a Hallmark villain, the better the office culture is. If they really make us do it, we can do it pretty efficiently, and there's some social consequences that will follow for them. If they were thinking that was an option, that's going to get very ugly for them very quickly. Update the second. Something came up and they'd objectively be monsters if they tried to stay past the date we originally agreed on. So that's currently the plan, and we're not budging on it. They aren't monsters. They're just people who expect one solution to all their problems. Should clarify for the sake of Clyde. I should have said he can't legally drive his car. The paperwork isn't anything to do with his license. Keep your fingers crossed. We shouldn't need to go the legal route, but I mean it when I say if it came to legally removing them, we have hot and cold running lawyers on tap alongside extremely friendly laws for property owners, and it would be a pain, but it would not be a drawn-out process and they wouldn't like the results.